We rely on our pets for love and support, but how much do you know about animal shelters, the source of our furry companions? Animal shelters have evolved drastically from the cliché pounds they are associated with. The pounds that animal shelters were derived from began as a way for colonial farmers to round up livestock and redistribute for a fee. The livestock had an economic value, whereas cats and dogs that were brought there not only lacked a monetary value, but were not necessarily valued morally either.
Some may argue that animal shelters are not an innovation, as there is such thing as kill shelters who euthanize their unwanted animals. This was the reality of mostly older shelters. Even though this is not a positive trait, animal shelters have definitely grown by developing more restrictions on caring and cleaning of these institutions. Gordon Willard, an animal activist, stated that the shelters of the past were simply built for the wrong reasons, and the result was warehousing for animals without regard to function. For example, if you take a step into a well-functioning animal shelter today, you may see dogs being taken out for walks and people searching to offer an animal a forever home. Sympathy for these animals in shelters has dramatically increased as we no longer see them as workers but companions. You may be wondering how better treatment for animals in shelters was accomplished or improved. This can be seen in two examples. One is the Animal Rescue Act enacted in 1998, which focuses on sending animals in shelters to rescue organizations before being euthanized. Another example of an improvement starting around 2010 was when shelters started to include in their contracts that when buying a pet from them, it was unlawful to pet flip, which is buying animals for your own purpose of income.
Dad, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Robert Cardwell.
Alright, what's your experience with adopting animals from animal shelters?
We have adopted in our family, both my parents and myself adopted probably about 8 or 9 dogs, starting with Marty, who is a very, very nice terrier mix, to Bailey, who is a shepherd mix, who is amazingly good at eating everything that's left out in the house.
And have you noticed a change in the adoption process throughout your life?
Yes, it seems to be more regulated, where in the past it seems like they've been very happy to get somebody to adopt a pet. Now it's treated more as a privilege. I think it's probably a good thing.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
Now, more than 5,000 animal shelters exist in the United States. However, it is difficult to know for certain due to the fact that there are no federal systems in place to regulate the shelters. According to ASPCA, approximately 6.5 million companion animals enter animal shelters in the United States annually. This statistic has declined significantly since the year 2011, when animal shelters had an estimated intake of 7.6 million companion animals. This can be explained in part of the widespread practice of neutering and spaying in the attempt to decrease overpopulation. Trap, neuter, return also became a popular tactic in an attempt to better the feline AIDS crisis and overall large amounts of stray cats in the United States. Animal shelters also become very proficient in their ways of returning pets to their original owner, as it is estimated that about 710,000 animals annually that enter the shelters as strays are returned to their rightful owners.
Today, animal shelters have the ultimate goal of giving these animals a second chance. As of now, there are 2 different kinds of shelters, the no-kill shelters and traditional shelters. As awareness of euthanization has developed, there's been an overwhelming push towards the expansion of no-kill shelters. It is estimated that 1.5 million animals are euthanized annually. This statistic can be a hard pill to swallow, but it should be noted that it has dropped drastically since 2011, when it stood at 2.6 million. It can be concluded that these numbers will continue to drop as animal shelters proceed to innovate and reform their ways. Both no-kill shelters and traditional shelters are more alike than they are different, as they take in strays and provide them with the basic living necessities they were incapable of sustaining while on the streets. Over time, it has also become a priority to perform extensive behavioral tests in order to make sure pets are better suited for adoption. A benefit of having volunteers work with these animals is that they get to know them and their behavior very well. With this type of information, volunteers can inform future owners of what they should expect when adopting particular strays and helping them to make the best match. With the granted knowledge, owners can prepare themselves and guarantee a higher adoption success rate. Animal shelters save the lives of innocent strays, giving them a second chance at living a sound life.